Liverpool have won 2 games in a row with back-to-back clean sheets. It feels like quite a while since I said that, but this begs the question, are Liverpool back? To discuss that, I've got a very special guest on the channel, the GOAT of football TikTok, Mr. Jonathan Morley. How are you doing, man?
Thanks, Max. Appreciate that, my friend. Great to be on. I'm looking forward to the chat. Obviously, we're talking in much happier circumstances. Football changes very quickly, and thankfully, our season seemingly has turned in the right direction over the last few days.
Yep, hope so. I mean, let's get into it. I mean, obviously, the last game is Real Madrid. Massive, massive night at Anfield. I mean, should have been more than 1-0, definitely. What were your general thoughts on that game? Just sum it up for me.
Um, like, I think, I think what we seen last Saturday against Villa was easily our best performance of the season, but it was kind of like what we seen yesterday was something in where we seen an even bigger improvement to that. Like, for example, especially throughout that bad run, but even earlier when we were actually winning games, we were getting so much wrong. There were so many issues within this team and squad so far this season. I mean, you talk about defensive issues, you talk about players kind of not playing in roles maybe they should be or positions they should be. Slot not getting his starting 11 correctly. Liverpool missing or fluffing their lines in front of goal. You know, game management, control of games that we've completely lost, I think, since the even before the start of this season. But we've rectified all of those things over those last 2 games. And against Real Madrid last night, as you said, Max, I mean, if it wasn't for Thibaut Courtois, it would have been a hammering. We deserved to absolutely hammer them. That's a really good Madrid side, and we shown them to be very, very small last night, which is incredibly, incredibly positive. And I think, I think from that kind of period that we've came over, things are looking a bit more rosy. Obviously, a big game on Sunday, but the the switch up kind of over the last week between all of these things that I mentioned there that we were getting wrong or even Slot was getting wrong. He's went back to basics. It's worked, and Liverpool are playing a lot better. You know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think it helps that we've kind of settled with a consistent 11 or, well, 10 players last night. Obviously, Verts came in, and that midfield's clicking again with, obviously, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and McAllister, who played so well. In the past 2 games, to be fair, similar to what they were doing last season. And I did want to talk about that one change, Mr. Florian Verts, who came in last night, probably his best performance in a Liverpool shirt, in my opinion, off the left, different role that we haven't really seen him start in. Just how good was he last night? He was amazing, wasn't he?
He was unbelievable, and like I think what we've seen so far in the Champions League is mostly the best of Florian Wirtz, and I was quite annoyed not to see him in that team against Villa at the weekend. I just feel that you have somebody here who's an absolutely generational talent. Yes, it might take time for him to adapt to this league. Yes, he might have to be a lot more physical than what he's used to, but we need to utilize him in the right way. And I mean, I think Slot, to be fair, is learning to manage him now. In terms of he hasn't had or he didn't kind of have a natural 10 last season. He has to kind of play different players and different roles this season and kind of switch up his system to what he became so used to in what was a winning team last season. But yeah, it was great to see him start last night. He was unbelievable. First half, he was absolutely everywhere. He looked a lot more comfortable yesterday. Whether that was because he was playing off the left and not at the 10, I'm not so sure. But he's seen a lot more of the ball. He created the most chances on the pitch. And I think the most impressive things of all was he covered the most distance on the pitch. People don't talk about his work ethic. People don't talk about how hard he grinds on that pitch, and
Off the ball is good, isn't it? Like,
genuinely.
and a lot of people were clowning him for that. early on
Yeah,
in the season, and I think it's taken him a bit of time to get used to. But now we're seeing him up to speed. Maybe in central areas, maybe it's a little bit too much for him, but I think that will come over time. It helped that he was on the left and could drift in. He basically got a free role, hasn't he? Coming,
yeah,
especially in possession, sort of drifting in the same areas that we saw him for Leverkusen. And we know Slot really likes Gakpo, but I think that's the position that I'm seeing him in right now, because you can't drop any of those midfielders for me, like especially the form that they're currently in. We know it works. It's a formula that literally won the Premier League. So stick with that. And yeah, I think Vert should play off the left for the time being. Maybe against Man City, who knows?
yeah. I think, going back as well to, managing him in the correct way, knowing that maybe his first season will not be his best. Make sure, he's rewarded when he plays well. Make sure you're not doing anything to stunt his confidence. Make sure he's just slowly but surely
Yeah,
going in the right direction. And I think what you say there, Max, is he has to start on Sunday. He should be starting on Sunday. He should be rewarded for what was a fantastic performance last night. And yeah, I mean, as you say there as well with that midfield, you talk about it is a winning formula. So obviously, Slot going back to those kind of basics to or what was so successful last season. If you just kind of add or just kind of include Wirtz into that, include Ekatike, Isak into that, what's already we know is fail-safe, it's going to work,
yeah.
then, I think you're properly and potentially even over the last two games seeing what will, be a Liverpool team that just gets better and better and better.
Yeah, I think that confidence thing is actually a great point, because I think he has struggled as the games have gone on with confidence. Obviously, the noise is so loud on social media, and with him actually having his best game last night, just carry on. Everyone's
Yeah.
praising him. Everyone in the team, all of the fan base know now what you can do. Not against, Frankfurt, which people were slating, opposition fans saying, "Oh, it's only Frankfurt. He's already done it in that league." Against Real Madrid, like no one can dispute that, and the haters have been pretty quiet
They
since
have.
since that game. I'll say that. But yeah, I think Liverpool's team right now, that in the past two games, have gone back to similar to what we saw last season, that consistent, Robertson, Bradley. And I did actually want to obviously come on to Conor Bradley, because man of the match performance for me, I thought Wirtz was a close second or third, so Bosley was great as well. But Conor Bradley wrapping up Vinicius Jr. was a sight to see, man. It was
Uh,
amazing.
Genuinely, genuinely incredible. Like, I mean, you talk about big players you talk about big games or big players performing in big games. Maybe not even big players. Just kind of not maybe like your Van Dijks, your Salahs, your Gravenbergs, whatever. You're talking about maybe who wouldn't be one of the absolute best player out of the squad or the best player on the 11, and the role, how big kind of a role he has to play on a night like last night. And Conor Bradley, I mean, he just continues to step up to the plate. Just unbelievable, unbelievable. It's like as if at times he needs that kind of motivation, that kind of like, oh, this is what they think of me. I'm going to prove all of these wrong. Because we see the very, very best from them. And don't get me wrong, like, we see the best of him often. I don't think he has been good really up to this point this season.
No, no, I
You
agree.
know? But like last night, obviously last season for large parts, but especially against Madrid as well, like coming up against two of the best players in the world between this season and last season, and just incredible, just
Yeah,
absolutely incredible, man.
I've always said about Conor Bradley that when he's faced with the biggest tasks or it's a big occasion, then you see the best of him. I think in certain games he can be maybe sleeping. Like against Aston Villa, I thought he played well. When Jadon Sancho came on, I thought Sancho looked all right up against him. But then Vinicius is levels above Sancho, and he had him locked. It's like that focus was there, and there was something so poetic about it. The fact that obviously Trent was on the bench, Conor Bradley is the right back who's came after him. And the performance that he put in, man, special. I think we'll,
Just yeah, watching it literally on the bench, literally
yeah,
just
like
poetic
we'll
is the
remember
word.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll remember that for years to come. We really will. Is there any other standout performers for you against Real Madrid that you want to speak about?
To be honest, like you talk about Sobis, like obviously game in game out, he's just an absolute joke. I mean,
Monster.
genuinely, like I honestly think he could be our best midfielder since Steven Gerrard. I really, really do. I think he could be our best midfielder since Stevie G. It's just that there's nothing he can't do. You put him anywhere and he will be as good as anybody that you actually put in that position. You give him a role, he will do more than even what's expected of him in that role. I mean, in terms of any attribute that a good midfielder should have, he ticks off every single one. Be it as simple as intercepting the ball or defending, coming back, box to box,
Shooting.
being a shooting,
Yeah.
passing, like
Set
every single
pieces.
thing. Set pieces, like you talk about free kicks. Like he just has everything, he just absolutely everything, and it's unbelievable to think every game he's just been incredible. But McAllister as well, you mentioned there,
Oh, it's top.
back to his best last two games, and I don't think it's any surprise with Maka being back to his best the last two games that we've seen the two best Liverpool performances as well, because he's another world class player, and he is so important to Liverpool kind of ticking. Andy Robertson at left back
Robbo.
last night, man, he's just rolling back the
He
years, isn't he?
is. He actually is. Even when Kirkes came on, you saw the first thing Kirkes do, just gets straight into a tackle, gets wiped out, and you just think like you're just like at times I think you're like a mini Robertson, but like back in the day, Robertson always had that control. I feel like
Yeah,
Kirkes just doesn't have that kind of control, and I think I'm so happy that Robertson has kind of got his place back now. I know it's his last season, but there's no need to rush Kirkers in. I still believe he's a good player. He's been pretty awful so far, in my
yeah,
opinion. But yeah, give him time to. I think he should have been given more time regardless. In that first game of the season, first few games of the season, there was so much change going on, and we had Andy Robertson in the squad. I didn't think we needed to put Kirkers in there straight away.
no, absolutely, and I think I seen. I'm not sure who I seen it from today, but they were talking about like, oh, thank God that Atletico Madrid move did not happen, and thank God
Yeah,
Liverpool, made sure that Robertson still had that role within this squad. And it's not even just how good he's been this season, but we all know from watching Kirka's last season, even on the international breaks, I do watch Hungary. They're in the same group as Ireland in the World Cup qualifying. And I see that same Kirkes for Bournemouth that we seen last season. He's only, like 21. He's very,
yeah,
very young. We know his potential. And I think not even how well Robertson is playing right now or how important he is still to this team, but Kirkes will learn off him. He will learn off
yeah. He
him,
will.
and I've no doubt, he will be a player who continues to improve in the future. But wow, I mean, you talk about Robbo last season. You've got to say, like, I've seen a couple of Liverpool fans say, kind of saying like, "Oh, who said Robertson was finished last season and this and that?" Like, we all, to some degree, said, "Look, yeah,
He's slowing down
Robbo's,
a lot. Yeah,
yeah, he's slowing down. He's not he's not quite got it in the legs anymore." We were all saying that to some degree, obviously not in a bad way. None of us, we absolutely adore the fella, club legend. None of us were saying,
yeah.
"Oh,
Let's.
he's finished, get him out." But his remontada this season has been absolutely incredible, man.
Yeah, I've loved it. Completely loved it.
Me too.
And I think some people are calling for the contract to be offered,
Yeah.
maybe a 1 year extension. You never know. Because I actually forgot about that Atletico Madrid thing. Because if we did let him go, we probably wouldn't have got rid of Simicas. So then you're
True.
looking now, Simicas might have been the starting left back, which Simicas, is a decent squad rotation player over the years for Liverpool, and he had some very good moments for us. But overall, I just think a safe pair of hands Robertson. When we're building up from the back on the ball, the positions that Slot wants his left back to take up and where he's, picking up the ball, it doesn't suit Kirkes right now. And
No.
safe pair of hands is Andy Robertson. Again, he has to start on the weekend for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. And it's crazy to think, you know, like somebody who is what, 30, 33, I think he is, 33. Like he obviously started against Palace. He was in the League Cup. Obviously, there was very, very little he could actually do. Just like Maka or any of
Chiesa, yeah.
Chiesa, yeah, even Rio, poor Rio. I mean, he worked his socks off in that game. He tried his very, very best, but there's very little you can do or you could have done that day. I mean, look, it has worked out. Fair play to Slot. He did throw it, and we look like Liverpool again. But yeah, you talk about Robbo starting that game. He started at the weekend against Aston Villa. He started last night. I mean,
Started Frankfurt as well.
he did. He's 33. Like
Yeah.
he's 33. His fitness is incredible. Like, and he's not just some guy who just stands in a certain area of the pitch and just waits for the ball to come to him. Like, I mean, that
He's
guy
relentless.
He is up
Yeah.
and down the line. Like, his fitness is unbelievable. I love him. I think we all do. To absolute bits, man. Absolute
Yeah.
bits.
Yeah,
You know?
absolute legend. I mean, even what he's actually had in his legs in terms of how many games he's played for us and the style of play that we had under Jurgen Klopp. Absolute testament to see that he's still going, and he still plays for Scotland, doesn't he?
Yeah, facts. Yeah, yeah.
Which
He's still one of their most integral players, man. And they're having a good World Cup qualifying, I think. Yeah, they're having a good World Cup qualifying.
He's a captain, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, a lot of changes in the summer, a lot of new players brought in, but you talk about leaders, and especially you need your leaders, and Robbo is still an enormous leader.
Vice captain, yeah, vice captain.
Yeah,
I thought it would have been
100%.
Salah, but went with Robertson, which clearly tells you something. Obviously, these two wins in a row, mate. Two clean sheets, which is massive as well. Do you think we're actually out of the nightmare that was October? Because that was just painful. Everywhere you turn, Liverpool were losing games. Do you think we're out of it now?
I think I have a good feeling that we are. I do. I have a good feeling that we are. Look, I still think obviously, we need obviously to have Kirkes settle into that team to play some sort of a role. Even when maybe he's not starting game in, game out. Obviously, Frimpong hasn't been helped with injuries. That's been really unfortunate. Conor Bradley obviously was unbelievable, as we were saying last night. So hopefully that kind of kickstarts his season. So look, we still need to be very useful of our squad players. Obviously, what happened to Giovanni Leone was incredibly unfortunate. I think he actually would have played some sort of a part this season, especially how
definitely.
like how assured and dominant. Granted, it was a League Cup game, but he's 18. That he
looked
looked in
class.
that game. He did, and he's Italian as well, and you can't go wrong really with an Italian defender.
can't.
But
No.
you can't. But Joe Gomez as well. I think Joe Gomez, whenever he's been called upon this season, was good. He was unlucky with a deflection last week against Palace in the League Cup, but I thought apart from that, he was quite good and assured at the back. Please God, we have no injuries. These players can settle. The likes of Frimpong and that can come back in and play a part and play into form. Kirkes, yeah, I think we're back to having structure, and I think a big thing as well that we didn't touch on him, Ryan Gravenberch being back the last two games, enormous,
Yeah.
absolutely enormous.
Great point, man. I think everyone was singing Gravenberch's praise at the start of the season, but he got that injury, didn't he? And then people kind of just forgotten about how important he is. Came back in against Villa, got on the score sheet. Again, that midfield is just, it works, man, and we need to continue with it. But I do think there's a possibility, and again, because we've got a few injuries at the moment. When they return, the likes of Isak, Frimpong, will Slot be confused again? Will he try too many different things? I think that is something that will be interesting when they do return. I think Isak might actually be back for the weekend, or he might be in the squad. But as I said to you a few days ago, when Isak isn't fit, um, it's kind of nice to just know there's going to be no
It
debate about
is.
what formation we're going to play, or who's going to, is it going to be Ekatike or Isak? Who's more suited? Who's better? You know what it's going to be. It's going to be Ekatike up top. And to be honest, he's looked a lot better than Isak in a Liverpool shirt. There's no debate about that.
Yeah, he has, man, and he's looked. He's obviously been a lot more settled. I think, I do think Wirtz has been decent up to this point, but for his standards, obviously not, top level. He's still settling and adapting. Isak obviously got no preseason, so look, I would give him that excuse up until the last few games, and kind of been like, okay, Isak's got to start doing better now. But I've no doubt that these signings, especially the likes of Wirtz and Isak, will be great for Liverpool because they're too good not to be. But Ekatike has been, the one signing who right from the start has just been his best. Yeah, absolutely incredible. And you're spot on, man. You're spot on. Like when he doesn't have that headache between Isak and Ekatike, it's just nice to just know Ekatike can just slot in there and do his thing, and there's no debate or whatever. If somebody's playing badly, I'll bring the other on.
Yeah,
So it
exactly.
is nice. And if anything, it should bring on Isak, man, quicker. Do you know
For
what I
sure.
mean?
For sure. Yeah.
So yeah, like it's
Even
been unbelievable.
even when Ekatike, like last night, I don't think he played his best. Even, like, and Villa, to be fair, even when he
Yeah.
doesn't play his best, he just gets me off my seat. Like, I just think he's going to make things happen. He's just by far the best Liverpool signing that we've seen in the summer as of yet. And yeah, if Isak is ready for the weekend, he won't start. But if
No.
we need a goal off the bench, then it's definitely not a bad option to have, is it?
No, absolutely, and I think Ekatike, with the reason you said there, and I did previously, he has to start at the moment. And look, I suppose the luxury we have there is, if it comes to a point where look, we can bring them in and out. That's the luxury anyway.
Mm.
But if it comes to a point where one of them is kind of in not the best form, then we can start the other. But until Isak shows what he can do, and Ekatike is still doing what he is doing, then I think Ekatike, every kind of big game that we have, he has to start. It's simple
He
as
has
that.
he has the shirt. Yeah, I agree. It has
Yeah,
to be done off that, doesn't it?
yeah.
When you've got competition for places, has to be done off who's playing better as of right now. It's up to Isak to really. I think Ekatike, as soon as he's seen Isak come in, he strikes me as the type of guy to have that like competitive bit of arrogance to say, "Oh, no, I'm better." Which
Yeah.
I mean, fair play because Isak, we know what he done last season. Yeah, what a couple of strikers that we've actually got. But
100%, man. 100%.
let's get into Man City on the weekend. Obviously, big game. Haaland in the form of his life. Man City title contenders potentially. Is this a must win for you?
Um, it's a really good question because it's one of those when you think obviously City look better than what they did last season, and it is the Etihad, so it's kind of one of those is that I think the two stadiums that you would think of in the Premier League the last number of years, or recent years I should say, you go to and you get a point out of, you're happy enough, and that is the Emirates. Being Liverpool fans, obviously, the Emirates and the Etihad. But I I I just think we can. I just think we can beat them on the basis of the last two performances. I think City are mostly better this season from Haaland just being even more of a robot than
Yeah,
he has been previously. Do you know what I mean? And like there's plenty to exploit there with Manchester City. I don't
there
think,
is.
yeah, they're not that good defensively. I think our midfield is a lot better, to be quite honest. I think our midfield is a lot better than theirs. We have a lot more quality.
Energy wise as well, I think we
It
could
is
like run them off the park. Um,
100%.
they've got the likes of Bernardo Silva still doing a job in there. Obviously slowed down a lot. Rodri, I don't know if he will be fit to start that game.
No,
know he's been in
Reinders as well.
Randers, yeah.
Yeah,
I just have this thing in my head. I know Man City look better, definitely better than last season, but I just can't see them winning the league with, Mateus Nunes as their right back. I know he's been better as well, but
yeah,
players like that, like we can get at them, man. Like
100%.
no question. And if you stop Haaland, there's a very good chance that you stop Man City as a whole.
Yeah,
We won their last season, didn't we? 2-0.
and it was easy. It was
It was
easy.
easy. It
Yeah,
was easy.
and
And we
and let's be real. Haaland traditionally does not play very well against us. Please God,
no, it
now
doesn't.
touch wood. I'm not jinxing that, but you
He's
know,
only scored a couple of goals, hasn't he? I think.
he has. And one of them was in the Carabao Cup.
Mm.
One of them was in the Carabao Cup. Has he scored against us in the Premier League?
Yeah, yeah. And it was at the Etihad in 23-24, 1-1
Oh yes,
game.
yes, yes, yes. I
Um,
remember. I remember. That was
but
his only goal against Liverpool in the Premier League.
Yeah, Van Dijk, I mean, always seems to turn up against Haaland. I feel like 'cause he did play in that game actually, but he
Yeah,
seems to raise his level. He seems to really, and they City. To be fair, they will try to play out from the back, but they go more direct now with Donnarumma. So listen, if you want to go direct up to Haaland, it can work. But if there's a couple of centre backs who can deal with that, then it is Konate and Van Dijk for me.
100%.
Um, so I think it will suit Liverpool playing these kind of teams. There's probably a debate around when we actually come up against the teams after the international break who look to sit back a little bit more,
Yeah,
that we might struggle. It's weird how
yeah.
football works, isn't it, like that?
It is. It is absolutely. And to be honest, man, you said about stopping Haaland there. I think if we stop Haaland, we beat them. And as both of us were saying there, he's not traditionally been that good against Liverpool. Van Dijk has really pretty much always had his number. Ibu has played well in these games too.
Mm.
And I look at how Liverpool played against Manchester City last season. Obviously on the two occasions, two nil victories, and the way Slot set up, and I don't really see like any kind of big change or big difference that he should actually have to make ahead of this game on Sunday. I don't think City are very different. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? So I think that definitely works in our favour. What works in our favour massively is teams that take us on. Obviously, we enjoy that added space. It suits our counter and in transition from defence going up the pitch
Yeah.
very, very well. So yeah, I mean, I feel good. As you say, the games after could be interesting with that, but you kind of feel is that if we can get this right, and we've obviously got the last two games right, we should just have that extra bit going into those other games.
Yeah.
Just find a way through that. But
Yeah, and City don't, rely on set pieces or throw-ins like some of the other teams that we've faced, and we struggled massively against those kind of teams. Brentford in particular. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I remember the away game last season. We kind of sat back and soaked up all the pressure and really hit them on the counter attack. Do you think that will possibly happen again?
yeah, I think it's just one of those, to be honest. That obviously, look, we seen Pep line up his team or organize his team very, very differently at the Emirates this season. Obviously everybody on social media was.
He went Mourinho, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was like, "Wow!" In like over a decade more watching Pep Guardiola's teams, he's never ever had any team look like that at any point, which
No.
he hadn't. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Pep does something different for this game. But you'd imagine that same kind of philosophy that Slot brought into those two games last season. I think it
Yeah.
should work well in these as well. I mean, look, it could be a draw. I just feel good. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I just feel good, man. I really do.
Yeah, no, I do as well. I think the
Yeah,
players do as well. You've seen that, a confidence return. Like even Salah past two games, Feels
Yeah,
like he's back now. Like I thought he was good against Madrid.
me too.
Had the left back, but against Villa, he was even better for me. If we do draw, I mean, I'll take it. But if we want to, I kind of have conceded the Premier League at this point. But if we do want to get back into any kind of race, for me, we probably have to go there and win.
Yes, and I completely concur with that. Absolutely, absolutely, man. And that's why I'd say maybe going back to your previous question, it might be a must win in terms of that. But like, we're
Mm.
so early on in the season, we're not even a third the way through the season yet. If we do win this game, we are far from out of
Yeah,
anything.
no, 100%. I think
Genuinely.
sometimes, yeah, I think sometimes we do forget how early it is because the two times that Liverpool have won the league in recent years, we've had no real like contenders, have we?
No.
Whereas like, we took City to the wire a lot, and yeah, we've you know made up so many points before on them, got back
Yeah.
into it. The problem is Arsenal are such a solid team and they don't really
Mm.
concede many goals at all,
Yeah.
like 8 clean sheets in a row. But listen, if we can, I've always said this season, if we can just stick on their coattails, the pressure,
Yes.
let it build and build, then something might happen.
Man, that's exactly my entire mantra thinking about that this whole situation as well. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. You're talking like Arsenal already after these last two games would kind of be like, it's like they kind of just be looking a little bit not so
Mm,
much over their shoulder, but they just be keeping an eye saying, oh. I don't really like to see that. I don't really like to see
for
that.
sure.
Liverpool, if Liverpool are to win on Sunday, that's a big statement. Then there'll already be like, okay, I mean, these are going to be serious again. And look, we know they are one of, if not the, they're maybe the worst front runners, I would say, in the last 2 decades of Premier League football. Certainly
Yeah,
in the
no,
last
exactly.
decade.
Yeah.
So you put pressure on them, and they have folded. And like Liverpool can do that, Liverpool can do that. Yeah, I think, I think we can get 3 points, but yeah, I think they are there. They're there to be challenged at least, and they're there to be challenged. And I think you would see if they're properly challenged, Arsenal, you would see one or two little falters, one or two kind of issues creep in. And look, going back to City in the game on Sunday, look, they've been outplayed a couple of times this season. They were completely exposed at home against Spurs. They were completely outplayed away against Brighton. These were two
Yeah.
games that they were clearly beaten. It wasn't a last minute goal or something like that. I know Brighton got a late goal now against City, but if you watch that game, Brighton were all over Manchester City
In
the
that
entire
second half,
second half.
yeah.
Yeah, and Spurs outplayed them. So
Mm.
look, Liverpool can do this. Just please God, we play like we have the last two games and defend massively important to how we have the last two games as well.
Yeah, I mean the last 3 games, that's like probably the best statement you can make after a run that we had to beat Villa, Real Madrid, and then potentially Man City. Like every team will take note of that and will think, okay, Liverpool, yeah, they're back. Going on to Sunday though, of course, predictions wise, give me your prediction. I want a specific score and maybe give me a score or something like that.
Let's see. Do you know, like I might sound like I might sound crazy. Like I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Like people talk about Haaland and everything and about how many goals. I think previous to these last two games, how many goals City or Haaland could score in this. I was fearing that as well to a point before these last two games, but I just feel we're back to having structure again and being confident in our own ability. We're playing together, and we kind of just for the first time this season know what we're doing. We have some
Mm.
sense of control. I'm going to say it's going to be 1-0. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's what I'm going to say. Obviously to us.
I was thinking the same. Honestly, 1-0
Really?
and another clean sheet. three clean sheets in a row. I do think Slot will be quite pragmatic in this game because he spoke about not giving Mbappe or Vinny space in behind last night. And, well, Haaland is probably worse because if you give him space,
Yeah.
he's going to eat it up and he's going to finish as well. So I think it's going to be a defensive type of performance from Liverpool, but we could create a lot of chances as well, which I
Yeah.
think we will in the counter attack. So I'm going to go 1-0 as well. Give me your scorer. Who do you think is going to pop up?
Let's see. Let's see. You know, Sabo came straight to mind there for some reason. I don't
Sobo.
know. Yeah, like I don't know. Like he came straight to mind there, straight to mind. I'll go Dominic Soboslai. Like
Szoboszlai. I like it.
yeah,
I'll go with I'll go with Salah. Smash and grab. Smash and grab.
he's he's got a
La-
good record against City.
Yeah, he does. I mean, against any sort of Big Six team, he has a great
Yeah,
record, doesn't he? We need
yeah,
him to turn up. And to be honest, Man City's left backs. I know that O'Reilly's a good player,
yes,
but you're looking at, you're just thinking Salah can have these guys. Like
man.
he had Digne on toast. He had the Correas
Yes,
last night. When Salah wants it,
he
scary.
does. Yeah, absolutely. And like you talk about, especially Carreras there, that's a guy being talked about incredibly highly in amongst Spanish football. Obviously scored a superb, like an unbelievable goal of the
Yeah, I saw
season
that.
contender against Valencia there at the weekend. And you could see in parts of that game his quality even at a young age. Obviously you mentioned O'Reilly there, a good player but young, there to be got at. Yeah, I just feel like wouldn't it just be the most typical Liverpool thing ever, like just to win this game, to keep another clean sheet, and yeah,
And then
I feel good. I hope they back us up, man. I think I just feel good. I think they will. I think they will. I think the boys will.
let's hope so. I mean, before the international break, that would be the perfect way to go into that. The last one before Christmas and stuff, where there's loads of games, and we have favourable fixtures around that time. So I think we can build on it and get the confidence up. Of course, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Honestly, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully the first of many collabs.
Absolutely, no problem, my friend. I've really enjoyed the chat, and let's just hope that Liverpool can put in another big performance at the weekend, get another win. And I want to say, I think you're just starting off as well on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
Best of luck with it. No more than TikTok. You're going to absolutely smash it. I've no doubt in my mind.
Appreciate that, mate. I really do. Please follow Jonathan if you don't already. The links will be down in the description, and I will see you guys on another video. Take care.